All right. Good evening and welcome to the Whoopsie Gringo podcast. I am Chris, your host, along with my co-host here, Brian Nato, aka Soju Man, aka Brian. Brian, how are you this evening?
Doing good, man.
All
Nice to be
right.
back online.
Yes, it's been a while. Lots of internet troubles and a big move.
Yeah.
So,
Where
how
you
are
at?
you in? I am in Tianjin, China. Beautiful China. So nice and cold. How about yourself?
I'm currently in the outskirts of Seoul,
The
in a
outskirts of Seoul.
town called Bokjeongdong.
Bokcheong-dong. Oh yeah, I've been there. Heard of it. Heard of a
Also
nice place.
cold.
Also cold. All right. So before we get started, let's talk about a loss that's very dear to my heart. Mr. McCloof. He was not with us tonight. Why is that?
Well, McCloof is on the other side of the world. He is currently pursuing his degree at the University of Georgia. So he's out there and either in class right now or just waking up. You never know. So hopefully he'll be able to
Very
join
true.
us in the future. But right now he's predisposed, I guess we could say.
You have to really watch out for the University of Georgia because I heard, when you're a senior that last semester, they really mess with you and choke up and you don't get to graduate or win anything. Is that true?
Well, I think just being from Georgia, you never really win anything. That's kind of how sports are.
It's been a devastating year for Georgia sports, but at least the Braves are not any good at all. So there's no hope
Well,
whatsoever.
not only are the Braves not good, they didn't just lose one season. They lost like the next 3 seasons within one with that scandal.
Oh wait, I didn't explain this to me. I have no clue what you're talking about.
Really? So, I love the Braves, but
I do.
there had some shady stuff go down with there's like a cap where they can offer players and things like that, and they offered or they were paying players more than they were claiming. They got busted with it, so all their prospect players they just kind of
Tanked for.
well the league put them into free agency, so we lost all of our big players and we lost a draft pick, our first round draft pick.
Holy cow! I did not know that. Actually, that's pretty interesting.
They came out really hard on
it. So that's just. I've always wondered that because, like, all right, I like basketball and football, and I was wondering, like, what if you were like a really big basketball player and you just didn't, the team just didn't have room for you? Could like the coach, like, or the owner just be like, well, but your housing's paid for and this is paid for and there's going to be a Bentley here and we'll take care of your mom. So that's what they were basically doing, like just giving him more money than said.
Yeah.
So, oh man.
I mean, I'm sure that happens all the time, and I think it does. The Braves just got caught, and I think they also want to make an example out of them.
Right, exactly.
That's why the GM, like everyone quit too. Like the head up, like the head guys they quit or they forced to resign basically. And it's been a disappointing couple of years, but it's not going to get any better anytime soon.
No, and they just moved to that new field, which is nice, but it seems
it's nice.
I go watch them
next summer. But
oh, did you?
Yeah, it's nice. It's more of an experience. I think a lot of states are going to that Wrigleyville type of feel where, yeah, you can watch the game, but the game's kind of the last thing you're really thinking of. You go, you eat nice, and you have drinks, and then you make it to the game by the third inning, and you watch the game a little bit, and maybe you leave early to go back out to the bars or whatever. I mean, there's clubs and everything out there. It's fun. It's fun, but different.
That seems really interesting. I need to go when I go back to Georgia because it's really close to where my family lives, and I drove by it a couple of times. But I was only in the States for 2 weeks, and the games were never at a very convenient time for me. And I heard traffic's a nightmare, but that's just hearsay. So, isn't traffic always a nightmare? So,
yeah. I mean, how is it where you're
at? Traffic here,
yeah.
Actually, when I knew I was moving to China, I was expecting like a very populated town, hustle and bustle.
What is the population?
I do not know the exact population because, all right, if you search where I live in Theta, which is part of Tianjin City proper, but it's also like an hour away from Tianjin City proper. It's basically like the state is Tianjin, I guess, and the city's also Tianjin.
In 2015, there's 15.47 million people.
Right, that would be in Tianjin, but I live in Theta, which is Tianjin. TEDA, Tianjin Economic Development Area. So I don't think it's going to be very hard to find a population for that, I would assume. So
Everybody, get back soon. We need you.
yeah. So but long story short, be here, pretty big, but then there was a big explosion, so a lot of people and things left.
Okay.
So and then even the population here is very low because I see people in the morning like getting bussed in from Tianjin to like work. So they ride a bus every hour, like to like these financial areas and like the actual I don't know, the busy parts of Theta. But I mean, we live maybe 3 kilometers from where we work, and in the morning it might take us 2 minutes. It's not very far.
Okay, that's good.
Not very crowded. I mean, if you go to like the downtown of this area at 5 o'clock, there is a little bit of traffic, but it's mainly just buses trying to leave. The interesting part is, like I said, I don't know the population, but I know talking to these people, it used to be really full, but right now it's about 30% capacity. Like even my building is huge, and I mean you see nobody most of the time. They're building like I guess when it's done, it'll be the 16th tallest building in the world, just
Oh,
here.
wow.
It's like in the middle of nowhere.
What's
So
next?
it's going to be a jewelry store and office park. So nothing that anybody will probably ever use. So it's interesting. Like, and on top of that, it is weird because it's going to be in the middle of all these other office buildings that there's no offices in already. So it's very weird. So, but the area is like we have a lot of like Samsung's here, Kumho Tire, GlaxoSmithKline, John Deere. They build boats here as well. So there's a ton of like industry. It's just the people that work there don't really live here. They live outside and then bus in. So I'm guessing cost of living.
Yeah. And so you're selling it, okay?
Yeah, so far so good. I don't speak any Chinese. None. Mandarin. And then funny story is when I decided to move here, I thought, oh, I need, at least know how to say like, hello in Mandarin because I watched I think it was Die Hard, and he goes Konnichiwa, motherfucker, and I was like, you see, I know Konnichiwa. Only to find out about 10 seconds later, oh yeah, that's Japanese. So I knew no. Yeah. So I knew zero Mandarin. So, but I can get to my job.
How do you say hello in Chinese? Ni hao, right?
Ni hao, yeah, ni hao. And then how do you say thank you?
Hold on. Xin xin.
Yeah, pretty much. Or yeah, and you're welcome is like bukatsu. So, but basic. I really haven't put in a ton of effort yet.
Kombe is cheers, right?
I think so, yeah. So, how about your Korean? I know last time I talked to you, you were taking classes.
Well, I took like a intro, like survival Korean class for a month. And it was like 4 courses, not very intensive, but it's just how to get around. So I'm gonna try to start classes sometime soon to learn. Like I learned how to say, hello, thank you. I ordered a pizza online or on the phone and got it delivered here, so I could say my address and all that stuff. Ask how much something is.
But there's a lot of Westerners in Seoul, correct?
There's a lot of Westerners, but there's not as much English as I was expecting. I mean, yes, there's a lot of English. I mean, but like once you get outside of Seoul, there's not much.
See, that's the thing here. We live in this special zone where it's like tons of Westerners. So when I moved here, I thought, there's not going to be a lot of Westerners. But this place, there's a ton. Now it's not Americans. It's not even North Americans. It's more of there's some Canadians, but it's mainly Germans. And then the shared language between them and the Chinese is English.
Right.
So that, and then Russians, tons of Russians.
And how do you find getting around? Like, because I know you were telling me a story one time about how people think you're speaking Chinese, but you just kind of read clues and.
Oh yeah. So well, I mean, your Spanish was better than my Spanish, but I haven't lived into my native speaking country in a long time. So when I first moved, well, you met me when I first moved in a Spanish speaking country, and I knew
Your first day, I think.
yeah, my first day. I mean, it's the beauty of taking Latin when you're in college. So my English is not even that good. So I took Latin, so I didn't have to get away. I passed my first Spanish class in high school, my only Spanish class in high school, because first of all, the only word I could say in Spanish was sweater, which was suéter. So I didn't do good on the spoken part.
Well, also
But,
you had your lovely lady that was helping take care of you, right?
yes, that's true. That's true.
Last couple of
But
years.
then, and then in the Spanish class that I was taking, I had to pass, and I definitely was not passing. So it was the Spanish teacher was pregnant. So on the last day, I threw her a baby shower and magically got a C.
That was the good thing about back in the day school, like when like that old school style,
Yeah.
teachers didn't really care, I guess, how we're taught to, what they're actually learning. It's more just for the grade.
This has nothing to do with what we normally talk about. But I saw something and somebody was like, "Oh yeah, school just makes you like indoctrinate into like learning like a certain style." It's like, I mean, I don't really believe that. I think sometimes you have to do that, but also like, don't kids like? I remember, like that whole cake thing was like my idea. I mean, that was like creative and stuff like that.
Right.
And I don't know. I think kids can be creative, not just in school, but outside of school. I think that's an important part of it. But anyhow, let's not get into
No,
that. So yeah, I guess on back then, like grades weren't online, and there wasn't like all this like standardized testing and all this crap. So it was just like, I got a cake. But I'm pretty sure if I would have done that with like my chem's teacher, like my chemistry teacher, where it was like a major class that like colleges depended on, I don't think it would have passed, right?
that's the thing, man, because I did that. I was failing almost chemistry, which is kind of ironic because when I got into college, I enjoyed it and I did well. But before that in high school, I could care less about school, man. And I was borderline failing high school chemistry, and some other things happened and like family stuff. And she's like, "All right, well, if you need to get your grade up, come see me after school, and we'll
Okay.
figure something out." And I just cleaned beakers and like I pretty much washed the dishes of chemistry class and just cleaned. And
So
magically, when the time came, my grade went up 5 points and I passed.
I mean, but that really, your teacher taught you a lot because now you're in Seoul, you're working at the McDonald's, so cleaning, the fry machine. So it really set you up for your life. Who would
Well,
have thought?
I mean,
All these years later.
I was a busboy soon after that, so it did get me ready for that.
There you go. So I was gonna mention, ever since I came back from Seoul, I really miss Popeye's chicken because you guys have a Popeye's chicken there.
Dude, you know what? We ate that the other week. I thought about you. I got this coupon for it.
Did you?
Yeah.
So I don't know because like here the chicken's pretty terrible sometimes. Like the town that I live in.
Dude, I have a few restaurants I want to take you to. How do you find the food there in China?
Man, the food is interesting. This morning we had a fun surprise. It was really cold, so when it's cold, the building that I live in passes you out like a warm drink type thing.
Uh-huh.
So it's like either tea or this morning I forget what it was exactly called. But the gist is, we got a cup and it looked like a coffee cup, right? Like portable coffee cup with a top on it. I get to work and I'm like, oh man, I'm gonna drink this coffee. I pop the lid off and it's like just like this porridge with like beans and nuts inside of it, like a liquid, right?
All right.
And it's called like in the translation was like 12 bean drink or something like that. Super sweet, super sweet. But I was expecting coffee, and I was like, oh, 12 bean thing. And it was like a really sweet drink. So
Like a oatmeal kind of thing?
almost, but tons of beans and peanuts in it. So
Interesting.
and I've seen it. I've even bought it here to try it myself, and it's like they sell it just in like a can, like you would just buy like baked beans, I guess, and you just heat it up and then you eat it. There's that, and then the noodles everywhere, man. Hot noodles everywhere. And the
Like
interesting thing is,
or what?
yeah, like ramen. So
That's what I had for supper.
That's what you had. What?
For supper, but it's like
the fancy one.
No, like like I bought it at the 7-Eleven and I just put hot water on it.
Oh yeah, so like the one that has like the vegetables inside of it built in.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, so if you go to the airport here, that's what everybody's eating.
Yeah, our kids love it too.
Yeah, everybody loves it. Like it's like what they like to eat.
Yeah, when you come back out here, I want to take you to some restaurants because I know we didn't really do much of that last time. Because the Korean food is so good.
Yeah, and actually, a lot of the food here, when you go out to eat, it's either Korean or Japanese.
Yeah, I want you to try this thing. There's lots of different like stews they call them, I guess. And like budae-jjigae it's like this big stew. It has like I don't know, like hot dog pieces and like just a bunch of random stuff. They also call it military soup because they're like
what?
Military soup because like in the war they would just put whatever into the stew.
Okay.
Out of it, then they get the ramen noodles and use the broth to make ramen. So you eat it. It's kind of spicy, but it's really good.
Yeah, the food here is really spicy. They have hot pots like the fancy-ish
Hey, actually,
food.
my Chinese friend went to China part of town and got me this drink. It's called Drink Milk.
Drink milk, okay.
I'm gonna go on camera for a second so you can see it.
Hold
on 1 second. Does it look familiar?
No, I haven't seen that. I would drink that though. Was it good?
I haven't drank it yet. I'm saving it for tomorrow. She says it's like really sweet and it's super common in China. So look for that.
Okay, yeah, I'll look for it. So that's the stuff. Stuff here is really sweet or really spicy, and a lot of the stuff that you would think would be like not super sweet is super sweet. A lot of the stuff that you would think would be super sweet is not super sweet. Like I've heard a lot of people complaining about pastries and stuff like that. Like, oh, they're not sweet.
You came from a country that has some of the best food in the world.
Yeah, I know. Mexico is really, really good food. And on top of that, it was really spicy. But here's a lot of the stuff's spicier than was in Mexico, to be honest with you.
Yeah?
Yeah. So as crazy as that is. So I do miss Mexican food. So,
I bet.
Yeah.
Can you try and get international food there?
British food every now and then, like fish and chips, and place has a lot of pubs, like cause they're trying to cater to the people from the West, the Westerners as they call them, and then you can get like German food, like all the Frankfurts and stuff like that. They're okay. They're not like, oh, I don't think the Germans are like, oh, you got to go here for the best German food.
Yeah.
So, and then of course Western food is just, I mean, McDonald's, Burger King, stuff like that. Of course, that's here. We have Dairy Queen.
Dude, we have a Dairy Queen here now too.
Do you? I was shocked when we had a Dairy Queen. I was like,
I can't wait for it to be warm enough where I want to eat ice cream. I love ice cream more than anybody.
Yeah. So Dairy Queen was like a shock to me. Like, okay, I can understand like KFC. KFC gets around. Subway gets around. Burger King and McDonald's, of course. Then I was walking and I was like, wait, is that Dairy Queen and Haagen Dogs? Like, what? This is so interesting.
And we got Popeyes.
Yeah, you guys got Popeyes, and then I think Shanghai has Taco Bell.
We have Taco Bell.
You have Taco Bell. We went to Shanghai and we went to Disney, and that was fun. So
for the winter break.
For winter break, yeah, we went to Disney, and then we went to Sanya, which is like an island off the coast of China, western part of China.
Is that where I saw the picture of you like in a pool?
Yeah. So it was nice. It was really nice. A little bit chillier than what I expected.
Right.
But it was very, very nice. So at least the part that we stayed in. And then lots of Russians. So that was cool. All these people were talking to me in Russian. And I was like, wow, I'm just as lost as I would be with Chinese and Russian.
Maybe even worse.
I actually know a little bit more Chinese than I know Russian or Mandarin. So it's weird. Everyone here calls it Chinese. So I don't know if I should call it Chinese or Mandarin. Like, am I wrong by calling it Chinese? I'll call it Chinese.
I don't know. Like my kids take Chinese in their classes.
Oh, okay. So I always figured it was Mandarin, but I think there's like a difference, like simplified and non-simplified, stuff like that.
Are you gonna take classes?
Doing Duolingo.
Hello?
So.
You there?
Yeah, I'm here. Can you hear me?
Yeah. So
yeah.
It was a big noise for a second. Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm doing Duolingo.
Is that helping?
So. A little bit. I've done it for like 2 weeks, so who knows? So I like to just get right in there and try to figure it out.
Right.
So, and then Kelly's a little bit more advanced than me, so but she always picks up the languages faster. So
It's buzzing again.
is it?
Yeah, I don't know if your microphone or not. We don't have the best podcast equipment, but hey,
It's also my internet.
or it's making more noises. It's not really lagging.
Okay. I was gonna say it might be my internet because, as we know, both platforms that we're using today are banned in my country. So
I was thinking YouTube.
yeah, we could use YY.
I don't know what it is.
Yeah, exactly. So neither do I. I don't bother.
What's been like the biggest? I don't want to say shock, but just like something that maybe you weren't expecting to be so different.
It's a good question. The hardest thing, actually, I would say, the biggest shock would be how it's been pretty easy. Like it really is more open. Does that make sense? Like I can find a lot of stuff. I mean, some of the stuff I find here I couldn't have found in Mexico, which is insane to think about.
But when you say finding stuff, what do you mean? Like online or like in stores
I
or what?
mean, just in stores, online, like just the fact of like, my parents are like, oh, sometimes this isn't often like, oh, what'd you have for dinner last night? Like, McDonald's or, like something like that, or just like or, oh, just going to see a movie and stuff like that. Like it's all, they have a lot of the Western movies and things like that. I guess that's the biggest shock is like, you really think it, like, oh, I think a lot of people think different countries are so much different, but it's a lot of the same.
Yeah, it's
There's
a weird mix of.
yeah, there's strip malls with things that you would recognize. It's like, I mean, right down the street there's a strip mall, and you just walk by and you're like, oh, there's a Watson's, there's a KFC, and then a McDonald's. Like, where am I? Am I in Richmond, Virginia, or am I in Theta, China? So,
Right.
and then of course across the street there's like obviously much different stuff like the appliance stores and stuff like that. But so I thought when you move halfway around the world you should be like completely lost all the time, but it's not. How about you? What was the biggest change?
I think just the whole culture of here. Like, I mean, we've come from the Western cultures, whether that's in the States or, both of us from Latin America. And there, the culture is super open. You walk down the street, people are going to say hey to you, even if they know you can speak their language. They're going to ask you, like, what are you like it here? They're just super curious. But here, it's just so closed as far as the people kind of go about their day. And maybe they are curious, maybe they're not, but they're not going to. I might as well just be invisible here, and that's a big difference.
Really hard. It's really hard to make friends.
Yeah, it's hard to, and not to say that these people aren't nice, because they are super nice, and if you need help, they will help you out. But as far as like I said, going into a store or walking down the street and you pass by somebody, they're not going to even say hey, which is
Yeah.
and to get into the culture, I think the culture here is just such a culture of respect that like if for us, if you say hey to somebody, you're just saying hey to somebody. But in Korean, you have to say hey a certain way depending on age. And I think there's just so much uncomfortableness within that conversation that it's easier just to kind of ignore, because you don't want to feel uncomfortable for what you might need to say or say something wrong, and you don't want them to feel uncomfortable and easy if you're trying to speak to them as well, because they won't know how to address you. So I think
Oh,
I
yeah,
think they just kind of
sense.
ignore ignore you just to kind of bypass all that craziness. But in saying that, I've also been to places, and when you were here after those games, people just get wasted, dude, and they just become your best friend, and you have your arms around them, and have guys telling you how happy they are to see you. I mean, so it's
Yeah.
weird mix of all that. But other than
I mean,
that,
that's
it's
crazy because like that was the first time I experienced Korean culture because we got in. Uh, we went to the Colombia Korea game. We got in that day, and that night we went to the game, and then I think I was in Korea a whole like 2 hours.
Right.
before we were in a bar drinking soju and like everybody was in a good mood. Like, you know. So,
Dude,
but I experienced the same thing here. Like a lot of people just you'll go into a restaurant, it'll be like pretty busy and just silent. You're like, what? What? And I don't know if that's everywhere because like
silence is another weird thing. Like, you'll be on the subway or the buses, and
yeah,
and
so
if you
quiet.
have a conversation like this, people will just shush you.
Yeah, exactly. And then so you're in the restaurant and like you just look around, and I'm not sure this might be in the West too, because from my understanding, it's kind of worldwide. But just like couples and then people by themselves, just on their phone, just staring at it, like so weird to me. Like even here, like like your coworkers and like especially kids, like you'll see kids just out in public and just like big group of kids, like 13, 14 kids, and you're like, wow, they're gonna be a rowdy group, and they're just all playing the same game, being quiet. Like, what is going on with this?
How's the safety there?
Oh, super safe. So
Yeah,
I
like
mean,
especially coming from Latin America. I love Latin America, but it's definitely got its safety issues. I was visiting my buddy Kel, who you know, and he
yeah.
lived a good 2 hour bus ride away from here, an hour and a half.
Uh-huh.
And we were riding bikes back one night in the middle. Like we were just kind of going through these parks, maybe like a 30-minute bike ride. And at some point in that night drive, my wallet fell out of my pocket. Keep in mind, I'm an hour and a half by bus from where I live here. So the next
Jeez.
morning we get up, I couldn't find my wallet, and I'm just assuming, well, that's all could really have happened. And we go back, we try to look for it, it's gone. And a week and a half later, it shows up at my mailbox.
Are you kidding me? How did that's insane?
Because on my ID card, it has my address. And so
Oh wow. And it had everything in it.
everything was still in it.
That's great. That's great.
And that's
So
like a really common. Why do you think that is? What I wonder what makes a culture that much different here than there.
yeah, I don't know. I actually really I mean I've noticed that here. I guess is it stricter punishments? I know
Or
here
because
I
like
know
not very
or,
poor. I mean, there's poor people, so there's less desperate people for that kind of stuff.
right.
But there's
I
still
mean
a.
I know here at least there is like surveillance. So like I wouldn't do anything. Like if I saw somebody's wallet, I'd just probably like be like, oh, if I didn't know whose it was, I'd probably just leave it and keep walking.
Exactly.
Because it's like I don't want to pick that up because then
Yeah,
it's like everybody knows that I have it. So
yeah, but to take the time to bring it to a mailbox, and that's like that happens all the time. Because when I lost it, I'm like, and people are like, hey, just give it some time, it might show up. Everyone was expecting that to happen, which is not mine, man.
jeez, man, like so I did. That's a pretty impressive story. I have not lost my wallet, so that is good.
I can
So
understand this, but
here the culture of the phone is so crazy. Everything is done with a phone. Like I could lose my wallet and it wouldn't matter. I just pay everything with my phone. I order my movie tickets with my phone. I can order takeout with my phone. I can order my train tickets with my phone. I can buy airplane tickets with my. And I don't mean like my phone. I mean one app. It's just one app. WeChat is
we
like
can
WeChat. That's it. Everything is WeChat. Like
you
that's
can
it.
you can text and you can call and everything from there too. Yeah.
hmm Yeah, I mean it's just like an insane WhatsApp. Like like, oh, you want to order hot pot delivered? Just hit this button, and it will be there in 15 minutes. So crazy. Uses location devicing and everything like that.
And that kind of
And
surpasses the
then
language barrier too, right? I mean,
yeah, and then you want to order a taxi, you hit the same button. Uber built in. It's like they just took everything, and I mean they're notorious for doing this because they'll let a company in and then they'll take it away and then just copy it. So they had Uber. And then they're like, oh, okay, well, now we'll ban Uber and we'll just start our own through WeChat. So I just hit a button and then boom, you get a taxi. Oh, you want to share the taxi? Oh, you want to rent a bike? Here you go. Just scan the QR code. Oh, you want to order something online? Here, just scan the QR code on WeChat. Everything's done through there. Hooked up straight to your bank account. I don't even know where my bank card is, to be honest with you. I don't even bother. It's just like,
that's pretty cool. And I think that like, those kind of things also ensure safety.
they ensure what?
Ensures a bit of safety as well, because if you're not carrying cash, you're not carrying your wallet. I mean, I don't know.
Yeah. But from my understanding, it's always been very safe. I think the only thing you have to watch for here is scams. I've heard a
Yeah,
lot of scams. I mean, just the other day we were trying to go, and it snowed pretty badly. I mean, not pretty bad, but it was the first snow here. It was like 4 or 5 inches,
Sorry,
and
bad snow.
yeah. So I mean, from Latin America, it's never snowed 5 inches in Vitapar. So we were talking. That's the story for another day. But real quick, Brian, what do you think would happen in Vitapar if it snowed 5 inches?
It would shut down. Everyone would. I don't even know. I think first of all, people wouldn't know what to do because they couldn't go to the river to talk about it.
Yeah. Do you think that there would be more people at the churches or more people in Jumbo buying Old Par?
I think neither. I think everyone would get motos, and there'd just be the biggest motorcycle consecutive
Snow race?
in the world history because everyone would try to drive in the snow and just slide out.
Slide out. So, do people here ride bikes in the snow?
Yeah, dude, I'm still trying to figure this whole cold thing. I've never been in a weather where walking outside makes my face hurt.
Oh man, it's so cold. It gets so cold. We get the wind from Mongolia, man. It's just like straight up wind, and you get it from the ocean, don't you?
I don't know where we get it from, but it's cold.
So, and then the heating here is government heating. So you get like you pay a bill at the beginning of the year, and you just get like all the heat you can use. Well, well, I have not turned on the heat yet, to be honest with you.
You haven't turned it on or off?
We have not turned our heat on. In fact, two nights ago we slept with the air on.
Really?
It's like negative 15 at night, and we're sleeping with the air on because it's so hot. Because everybody above us and below us has their heat on.
Oh, so you're like just pushing.
Yeah, so we're on the 37th floor. So it rises up.
You don't have the floor heating then?
No, we have radiators. A lot of the buildings here do have floor heatings, but we
that's
have
what all three is floor heat. It's cool.
Yeah. So, I mean, my floor is heated though because the apartments below me just heated up. So that's what floor 37 will do, I guess. So, so one quick thing before we go, because we probably need to go here in a little bit. We're going to run really, really long on this Sketchup podcast.
Sketchup podcast.
So, Sketchup podcast. Yes. So I'm coming for the Olympics.
Yes.
All right. And I have some Olympic trivia for you. Well, it's more of a game. All right. All right. Do you think you can do it?
I mean, I believe so.
I'm American. So, okay. I want you to name, and you might know these because you've been looking into it.
Okay.
I want you to name 6 Winter Olympic events.
6? Oh, that's easy. I can do that.
Yeah? Okay.
We got figure skating.
All right.
We got snowboarding. Do I need to be specific, like half pipe and all that, or snowboarding count?
No. Just like, yeah, I mean, like, you can't say, like, figure skating, like, doubles. Like, you know.
Figure skating, snowboarding, skiing, skeleton.
Skeleton, all right.
Bobsled. And hockey.
Hockey, all right. And one more. You're missing one more.
Oh, 7? And
oh, I thought that was, sorry, yeah.
Oh,
what's the one I want to go to?
I can do it. I was gonna say curling. That was the last one.
Oh, okay. So yeah. So the ones that I can think that you're missing are luge and speed skating.
Yeah, speed skating's there.
And I'm sure they have like don't they have a thing where they ski and shoot?
Yeah, what's that called? The decathlon or something? I don't know.
Biathlon? I think they do 2 things. I think it's biathlon.
Yeah. Some athlon.
All right. Now, harder question. Name 2 former Winter Olympic champions.
Okay. Shaun White.
But is he still playing? Is he still active?
He's a former champion.
All right. Shaun White.
Scott Hamilton.
All right.
You know who that is?
He's a figure skater.
Yeah. Apollo Ono,
speed skater. Okay.
Nancy
Kerrigan.
Christy Yamaguchi.
Chris Yamaguchi. So you know the figure skaters. Yeah, the figure skaters I think are the most popular, right?
Right, right. Which is kind of interesting. I got a fun fact for you about this upcoming Winter Olympics.
All right.
Especially since you're so into figure skating.
I know nothing about figure skating, yes, but yes.
This year is the first year that the figure skaters can use music with words.
With words. All right. So we finally get some Flow Rider and Little John into our figure skating.
To the windows.
Do you think Pitbull will be featured in this year's figure skating?
Everything, dude.
Huh?
Can you imagine someone skating to that?
Well, he is Mr. Worldwide, so I figured if you wanted a chance of winning the figure skating competition.
What did we always used to listen to in Costa Rica?
Shaggy.
No, of course it wasn't a Shaggy. What was the other one? Because that could be kind of figure skating, Angel or something.
Yeah. So,
but Ying Twins.
Oh, Ying Twins. Now that would be a classic figure skating song. Jeez, they do have a Christmas album, which always reminds me of snow.
The club.
Snow. Something. Yeah, something. So,
speaking of Shaggy, it's our 5-year anniversary of the Shaggy concert.
Is it?
When did we go to that festival?
It's got to be 5 years. I think you're right. Yeah.
12.
Wow.
6 years.
No.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, it has to be.
2.
No.
5. It's 5. It's 5.
I don't know. It has to be 6.
Okay, 6.
2012. January 2012.
Oh, wow. Okay. So 6 years. Dang.
Hey, I've known you for like 6 years now. Hey, happy anniversary.
Happy friendiversary. Yes, exactly. So 6 years since.
Maybe it was just a weekend at that festival.
She was who was performing this year, if you don't mind me asking?
Remember that cover band that we used to always see?
Yeah.
They played like the rock music. Diesel, I think they were.
Right. They were headlining?
No, I don't know. That's the only thing that she showed me. I don't know who was headlining it.
Okay. It's like that'd be interesting, like some cover band. Like, yeah, we made it. So.
We were reminiscing, which we talked about in a previous podcast about our Woods experience.
Yes. Oh God.
Who's bus?
Wasn't me. The bus. Wasn't me. I was gonna say. I was actually just thinking about. Remember when we with Johnny when we had the game, the crazy game.
Johnny Womp Womp or the other Johnny?
No, the other Johnny. Drinking from the floor, Johnny.
Okay, that Johnny.
Yeah, that Johnny.
You were petting the cat?
Yeah. Oh goodness. All right. So let's plan the next two podcasts. All right. So we can have these down. I'm gonna be there soon.
Yeah.
I'm coming for the Olympics.
You arrive February 15th?
You know me. 15th. I arrived the 15th. So we should do one on the 15th or the 16th with a special guest, Kel.
Yeah.
Right. I think we got it. We got to get McCloof in here.
Yeah. I was just chatting with him.
All right, McCloof. All right. So are we going to make this official where we do this on Wednesday morning East Coast or Wednesday? Or
Let's see how it goes because I might have Korean class coming and I'm not sure which night it's going to be.
Okay.
Not say anything in stone just yet.
All right. But it was good to do this and then we at least get it done. One done.
Yeah, and we know that the internet
I think. Yeah, exactly.
We have
exactly.
one.
What'd you say?
You have one viewer.
Yeah. Who's that? Me.
Probably. I think it's actually
so but yeah, so at least we're back. We know everything's working. We're here. And we can go from there. I think we got to play the game with the circle. We can do that with Kel. We should have Kel on. We should have McCloof on. You have a friend that wants on to talk about some good experiences, and that's where we'll go at. Sound good?
Sounds good, man. Yeah,
you want to wrap everything up?
Good catching up with you.
Yeah, definitely.
Glad to hear things are going well in China. Looking forward to coming out there and visiting you.
Konnichiwa, motherfucker.
Where are you living in Japan?
I guess that's where I'm going next. I guess. So, and I just want to say congratulations to Fiji, happiest country in the world, second, Colombia.
Yeah.
So
Costa Rica's falling down.
Costa Rica's fallen down. I don't think they made the top 10. I know Mexico was in there.
What happened, Ticos?
Let's get back to it, Ticos. All right. I'll talk to you next time, Brad.
All right, man. Be easy.
Bye.